Feels like a jet engine taking off. Let's go to work is what my loader is saying. So when I started this company, I started it with a 1979 Chevy 3/4 ton pickup truck that the driver's side was fine, but the passenger side had a hole so big in the floor that when I was plowing snow, I'd have to keep the windows open because the exhaust would come and fill up the cab and I couldn't even see. So window there, window there. I didn't have all of this equipment. I didn't have options.
You came from nothing.
What's that?
You didn't think of doing the license plate trick?
When I first started my company, we were so broke that we didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. And that's just a redneck way of saying we were poor. And I mean dirt floor poor. And I'm going to share with you guys today some of the hardest lessons I learned along the way to help me build a business that became self-sustaining, but also more importantly than that, how I built a business that let me build my dream. When you're done with this, I'm gonna tell you something and these guys something that I've never told anybody in the world.
That's a scary thought.
So when I started this company, I started it with a 1979 Chevy 3/4 ton pickup truck that the driver's side was fine, but the passenger side had a hole so big in the floor that when I was plowing snow, I'd have to keep the windows open because the exhaust would come and fill up the cab and I couldn't even see. So window there, window there.
License plate trick?
What's that?
You didn't think of doing the license plate trick? Take license plates, put them over, and then screw them down.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was not sealed by any means, Zach. But what I'm saying is I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. I didn't have all of this equipment. I didn't have options.
You came from nothing.
Dirt floor poor. Now I'm gonna jump in here because Zach and I are gonna be firing up a mower and trying to use it and do some cool stuff today. But what I want to take you along for the ride is how I built my dream. And the one first principle that I want to tell you that cannot be compromised, cannot be sacrificed, cannot be altered or changed in any way, shape, or form is for you to begin to build your dream. You have to reinvest everything back into your business. 100%. And that isn't just for a few months. That isn't for a year, 2 years. I did it for a decade. I took a part-time job at one point so I could support my own business because I believed in the vision. And the thing is you guys gotta feel it. You gotta believe in yourself. You're gonna hit bumps. It's gonna be a roller coaster ride, and it's not gonna always be the up roller coaster. Sometimes it's gonna be the down roller coaster, and that's a beautiful thing because those hard times are the absolute best lessons you can learn in life, in business, in profits, everything you do. So every time I get hit, sidelined by some unforeseen obstacle that just knocks the wind out of you, whoa, just knocks the wind out of you. I've had my guys look at me and go, how do you handle that? So calmly, so cool, so collected. And it's because I'm in that moment, I'm feeling the pain, but I know in 2 months, 3 months, maybe 6 months, year, I don't know, at some point, the lesson is going to come to me. And that lesson is so freaking valuable. God does not put things in your way that are not surmountable. He allows us to feel the pain so that we can prosper later on. But if you don't feel that way, all you're going to do is experience the pain. You're never going to get to the point where you prosper. So allow that pain to soak in like a sponge. Take it in, because the harder that pain is, the higher you're going to go later on. This is a fact. I can promise you that. But back to what we've got to do is you do not spoil yourself. You don't get to. If you decide that you're worth a new Corvette, you just started your business, but you got to show off because you're so cool, because you made $100,000. Go buy yourself a Corvette. I made that mistake. That was me. I bought a Corvette. dumbest thing I could ever do. Dumbest thing I could ever do. Ego. That's my ego writing checks that my bank account wasn't ready to cash. I ended up selling that car and reinvesting it into another dump truck. I can't show off dump trucks. Dump trucks don't pick up girls, but dump trucks build businesses. They build your future. And what I'm saying is reinvest everything. Do not spoil yourself. Live frugally, live tight, live lean and mean. And that's how you're going to, everything you do now, everything you do today will have its effect in 5 years. Think of it that way. It's a 5-year future plan. So everything that happens now won't come to fruition for 5 years. So all of the decisions you're making now, all of the sacrifices you make now will come to fruition in 5 years. So what we're gonna be doing, and now I've had the blessing of busting my butt, working as many hours as there is in a day, and I've got stuff to choose from. We've got attachments and equipment that we can use all over the place, but we don't have the exact perfect attachment to do this job. We've got a lot of logs, trees, ruts. Let's take them out and show them what we got, Zach. And what we're gonna attempt to do today is use the brush mower to pulverize. Now this is a heavy duty brush mower. This is not a forestry head. But when you look at how Seppi has this designed, they have it designed the same way that actual forestry heads work. Some of them are circular in motion and are flail designed, but some of them are a drum style. And what that drum style does is it's meant to go into the ground and pulverize it. Well, Seppi's flail mower is a drum style. So we took a stump grinder and we cheated and we removed the stumps, but we're left with this. We're left with bigger chunks everywhere. And I want this to be an actual yard. I want to restore this, but I can't restore it with crap like that. All of this into reusable material, remulch it back into the soil. We're gonna make do with what we have. Zach saved the excavator on Friday. He's actually really good at catching stuff before it becomes catastrophic. He does. I'll take it, because the last thing I like is maintenance. I hate maintenance. So the boom on the Depu, I freaking hate this machine. It's a terrible machine. The Depu, do not buy a freaking Depu. The main arm, the main pin right here, he caught it, was dropped all the way down to here. If it had dropped that much further, this boom arm would have been doing the crappie floppy. So now I'm beyond the stage of being a starving artist. I'm no longer dirt floor poor. But that doesn't mean my thinking has changed. This is where it becomes critical. So as you mature in your business, you still need to invest wisely. So as I'm spending money, and you see I've got a lot of stuff, but everything that I spend money on is either going to make me money, like the tools and attachments you see in today's video. All of those are designed to allow me to go out and do a new job, to earn new income in some way, shape, or form, or appreciate in value. Now, my tools and attachments aren't going to necessarily appreciate in value. Those are going to bring in income on a regular basis. So there's this balancing act. Now, I invest into my properties heavily because real estate has always been an asset that tends to, over the longer course of time, go up in value. So I have zero hesitation about doing very strategic improvements on my properties or buying more property. But I don't just go buy any property, because if you just go buy a piece of land somewhere, it's not necessarily going to appreciate in value. So personally, what I've done is I used to own a real estate company that we would flip houses. And to do this as Spartan as possible, putting as much money in my bank account as I could in my own pocket. When I was buying and selling houses, I actually went out and got my own realtor license so that I could put the 7% commission that I would pay a real estate agent into my own pocket. But that's where I am saying, think outside of the box. So if you're going to be doing investments, if you're going to be making big purchase decisions, make sure they're not frivolous. Don't spoil yourself. If you really want to reward yourself occasionally, go ahead, but don't make that the norm. Buy things that are going to provide you a steady stream of income or appreciate in value. When you have this balancing act between the two, a rising tide raises all ships. And that's where it allows you, because here's the thing, the average multimillionaire in the United States of America has 7 different forms of revenue coming in on a regular basis. Let put that one in and let stew on that. Think about that. The average multimillionaire has 7 different forms of revenue coming in different ways, meaning their eggs are not all in one basket. But don't go out and overwhelm yourself. Don't go start in a bakery and then start a landscape business, then start a drywall company. You can't manage all of these things. You have to be diversified enough that it allows you to capitalize on your own strengths. You, my friend, are your greatest enemy, but you're also your greatest asset. And when you realize that there's certain things that just make you get up and go, and you capitalize on those things, you will become the absolute best at it. So if you focus on the things that you're weak at, and you try to build those up, you become mediocre at best. But if you focus on the things that you are strong at, you will dominate your market in those things. So don't be afraid to find the things that wake you up, drive you, give you passion, and to concentrate on those things. Don't spoil yourself and spend money frivolously. Make sure that you have a balance to the different forms of revenue coming in, so that if one stream of revenue isn't performing as well as another stream of revenue, you're not sweating it. Does that make sense? Zach, what do you think of the cast loaders now that you've had a chance to run them, run skid loaders, run excavators? Handy, not handy, recommend them, don't recommend them, just what do you think?
I'd recommend them for, like I said, if you got like a homestead or something where you're not using it. Well, you don't want to get a big skid out for it every single time you want to move a flower or a tree or
a couch or a refrigerator, or an I-beam in the middle of a roof, or
yeah, it's something where you don't want to destroy your entire lawn for. It's like, I got a giant dozer at home for doing stuff if I need to, but it'd be nice to get into some spots with just a mini loader.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I think we hop in this thing single-handedly more than any other piece of equipment we own. Like, if you were going to say what gets used more or grabbed more, our 2 cast mini loaders people jump in those way more than they jump in a skid loader or an excavator. Let's just see, that should be it. Watch your door. That's the one thing I hate about these loaders, is that door. My cousin broke the door off my other one. Feels like a jet engine taking off. Let's go to work is what my loader is saying. All right, so while Zach's topping off, let's just walk around. We'll build the cast loader for you guys not familiar with them, because not everybody is. This is the 40XD. This is not their biggest one. They actually have one called a Maxo, which is one size bigger. This one, actually, the wheels will, I think they don't crab walk, but they 4-wheel steer to give you a super tight turning radius, but it doesn't damage turf. You can put this where you can barely walk. A size that I could recommend for a farm or acreage to maintain it would be the 33 or the 40. It has a telescopic boom. That's critical. You gotta have that telescopic boom. It's made in Italy and it's got solid steel plates. Okay, so if you want more information on the cast loader, go to Top Notch Equipment. That's where I got both of mine from. And I found out from Zach that Top Notch Equipment also sells these. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're like a non-stock dealer or whatever.
What he said walking away thinking you could hear him is they're a non-stock dealer. Zach does that a lot. A lot of times he'll go this way and he'll be talking over there to the dirt pile and I'm over here and I'm like, he's still talking. Is he talking to that rock over there? Who the hell is he talking to?
I usually talk to myself a lot.
I notice. We all know you do that, Zach. All right, come on, grab that thing. Let's see how this thing does. Let's mulch up some nasty stuff. Now, the last thought I'm going to leave you with today is your team builds your dream. If you think you can go it alone, then you are one of those very few rare individuals that has the strength that I've never seen anywhere else. Now, I've had the blessing to go behind the scenes with some of the best companies in the world. I've slept over for days on end at Aquascape. They do $70+ million a year. I've gotten behind the wheel of Custom Wheels and Offsets. I've walked and seen stuff behind Toro, behind Milwaukee. These companies all have something in common. All of these different companies that don't share their secrets, but they allow guys like me to come in and walk behind the scenes. And when I'm walking behind the scenes, they're trying to show me their coolest new tool. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at what is the life force of this company? What's made this company hyper successful that I haven't seen in other companies? And it is a feeling inside of the company. These guys are tight. These guys love working together. They are a team. Your team builds your dream. Your team has to fill in the parts that you're not good at. You've got to take a really good, long, hard self-assessment and say, I'm good at this, this, and this, but I suck at this, this, and this. And I need somebody that can do those parts. Now, they don't necessarily, the people you bring into your team, they don't necessarily have to automatically be the best at what they're doing in that moment. But what you want to do is you want to foster a belief that they can accomplish it, because most people can accomplish things that are well beyond what they see in the initial beginning stages of their development, including yourself. Most people don't realize their full potential until someone else comes along and says, son, you got this. You can do this. I believe in you. I know you can do this. When someone says that, and that's got to be you to your team, when someone says that, all of a sudden, you can feel it in them. You can see it in them. It's a desire. It's a tangible thing, and it takes on a life of its own. So, build your team. Know that there's going to be setbacks while you're building a team, but build your team. It's the most important thing you can do. If you want long-term success, build your team. That's the most important thing you can do. Now, I hope this video has entertained you today. I hope that this video has hopefully educated you in some way, shape, or form. And if it has, then you owe me. You owe me. Share this video. Give me a comment down below. Or tell me something else you guys would like to see. Interact in some way, shape, or form with this video and let the algorithm notice that a rising tide raises all ships, and together you guys will make each other better. That's what the point of this is today. God bless, and go get them. Catch you guys on another one. Actually, you know what? It was his birthday yesterday. The boy's been working hard. I know he's going to want to run that. I'm going to let him run it for a bit. We'll throw it on a time lapse, and I'll take over a little later on. So enjoy the show. Dan the Man, why don't you provide these guys with some cool music? And let's let them have a little fun.